this short little video showing how to remove the water pump in order to get access to that bracket there, which also needs to be at least bent or removed, placed there. So first of all, you need to get your sprocket cover off. Easy, that's just 4 bolts and it's going to come off. Next thing is going to be obviously removing the water pump cover. Again, very easy, just a few bolts, drain the coolant, done. So this is the bottom hose, and here we've got the top hose. Thing will be to remove that sprocket here, sorry, that nut here from the sprocket, so the sprocket can be removed. Ideally you want to use a rattle gun for that, but you can also use a breaker bar and lock the wheel with, I don't know, a 2x4 between the swing arm and the spokes. So that's going to come off, and then what you need to do is you need to get proper chain slack, and I mean like a lot of slack, so basically turn the adjusters all the way in, so you can then easily remove that sprocket. So if you just lift that chain of it, the sprocket will eventually come out, and then you can without the sprocket you can get this bracket off, but we'll get back to this in a second. So now to remove the fuel pump, sorry, the water pump, a lot of people try to remove it by prying this water pump up here or up here with the screwdriver, and allegedly this ends up with a breaking of that water pump plate. So what you need to do actually, ideally, is to remove that 10mm bolt from the middle of the impeller. Okay, and you'll have, as you can see, you'll have a little washer and the plastic gasket there, and then you're gonna have that thread in there exposed, and the way to remove it is to use threaded M6 bar, which is long enough to give you possibility to hammer on it and pull it out. So basically mine's a bit too short, so I actually used one longer and one shorter joined together. Okay, alright, there we go. So we've got it all screwed in. Excellent, and make sure you go deep enough here. What you need to do, grab it here like that and hammer the pump out. Easy peasy. I didn't realize that once you pull the water pump out of there, oil will start pouring down, so make sure you've got something like a rag or whatever ready to plug it in pretty much immediately. So you'll need to grab a screwdriver or a punch or whatever and open those up. Okay, there's going to be another one there. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let's get those off. Those are 10mm short bolts. Now we've got access to this bloody seal, and so I'm gonna grab it in there and I'm gonna pull until it comes off. Here I have new seal, so I smeared it lightly with oil here on this outer edge to enable well, easy installation. I just wanted to slide in. I just don't want to tear it, you know what I mean? Being slow and delicate, I guess, is the way to go with this. Okay, seems to me it went in nicely. Okay, so new seal installed. I've wiped it all off, so it's now dry. Now, installation of that bracket. Before we actually put the screws in, I think it's a good idea to bend those metal pieces here a bit initially, because there's not a lot of room there, so if you had them flat and you bolt them down, I've got no idea how would you bend them, so for that reason it's good to do it now. Alright, so the water pump O-ring, I think it's always better to replace it with the new stuff. Now this costs £5, so why would you risk it? The new one just rolls in. Okay, it's in there. A little oil. And before you insert it, just make sure that this groove here is aligned with the oil pump rod inside. So if you need to spin it, you just turn this and you align it. So you'll have to have a look in there and make sure it all aligns. And hopefully it will all go in. Now I think it's going to be a good idea to just tap it a few times with a mallet. Okay. Okay, so gently tapping it and making sure it all lines up, I was able to push it all in. Now make sure you're using a rubber hammer. Honestly, not much, just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, putting the cover back on, and obviously I'm going to use new seal. This is the part number if you need it. Alright, so it goes in here. Okay, that goes on there like that. Alright, so up next we've got the sprocket. Again, because we've got this chain so loose, the sprocket pops in very easily. Then we've got this washer here, and then on top of that goes okay, so then we've got the hoses, the top hose on there. And the last one here. Okay, fellas, so in a minute I'm going to tighten up this sprocket, this sprocket nut here, but first I need to deal with this ridiculous chain slack. Chain adjusters are turned all the way in, so now you need to get them back out. I've just tightened that sprocket nut. I've also readjusted the chain tension. I've also tightened that nut there to 100 Newton meters, and all you've got to do now is just put the coolant in, the oil which you've lost during the removal of the water pump. That's going to be what, 300-400 mils or whatever you lost, and then you're ready to start.